What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Dirty Derbs channel. We are finally putting the big motor back in the S10. So if you are new to the channel or haven't followed along, this is my 408 stroker that I hurt during sick summer last year, and basically it ended up bending the crank just a little bit. So this motor has actually been fixed for a long time. It's just been sitting here. I've been waiting, and it's time now to get it switched. We have to get the truck ready for the Christmas Tree World Championship with Cleetus down in Florida, and that's in about 3 weeks. So the 408 has been ripping. There's nothing wrong with it. That thing is a killer, but it just doesn't make the power, of course, as this motor. And honestly, I don't want to go down there and scatter that thing down the track. So let's get this thing together. I'm going to put the heads on it. I just got new head gaskets. We've got my PRC heads. We just got all new intake valves. We had some tulipped valves in the heads. So these heads have been checked over, new valves, valve job, and they were decked. The rotating assembly in this right now is a Molnar crank, Compstar rods, and diamond pistons. And it's got a Little John Bewley camshaft in it that is spec'd. Technically, this camshaft was spec'd for a 370. It's been bouncing from motor to motor, and it does great in a bunch of different applications. So first things first, I do need to switch out the trays. I don't have to, I'm just going to. There's nothing wrong with these, but they have been in the motor for, I don't know, year or two. And I just happen to have some new ones here at the shop. So I'm gonna throw in some new lifter trays and then head gaskets, which are just the LS9s, and then torque these heads down. Okay, so we got those new trays in there. As you can probably see in the time lapse, I did pull all the lifters out, make sure they're still well lubed before I put them back in the hole. This thing has been finished and been sitting for a couple of months. So new trays are going on. I did clean the deck surface. The deck surface with this block was fine. There was really nothing wrong with that. So didn't need to get decked or machined at all. So it's clean now, and we're gonna throw some gaskets on here and then put the heads on it. Nice. All right. These are my PRC heads, and not much to them really. Nice and clean, shiny. This, I believe, is the driver's side. Nice. For the life of me, I can't remember what CC these are, the exact numbers on them are, but boom. Now we're looking good, except for I put the heads on backwards because I thought that was the front. Whoops. I'm just gonna undo that real quick while I still got time. There we go. Idiot. The old swapperoo. All right. Now we're looking good. Need to get some nuts on there. So these newer ARP head studs got knurling on the washers. That side gets dug into the head, so the knurling goes down towards the head. And just start throwing all those on. These are a 6-bolt head, but it's just a factory Gen 3 6-liter block. So I just don't run the extra bolts on the side. Would not be surprised if I'm missing a washer. So far, I'm missing one washer. Real nice. Okay, so after you have cleaned your nuts, you're gonna want to lube up your nuts. And yeah, a little bit of grease underneath the head of the nut and a little bit inside. That's kind of how I do it. That's how ARP recommends you do it. And like I said before, the washer is knurled on the head side, so that washer will dig in to the head and not rotate when you're tightening down the fastener. So basically they want all of the slip and spin in between the nut and the washer to get the proper torque. So we will lube up all of these guys and start torquing these things down here in a minute. Ooh, that was a lot. Sometimes if you get too much lube on one nut, you can spread it on your other nut. Kind of just how I did, just the two nuts together. Okay, we're torquing down the heads here. These are ARP studs, so the first pass is 25 foot-pounds, and you start from the inside, work your way out. There is a sequence, and I do follow that sequence. Second pass, 50 foot-pounds. My third pass and final pass is gonna be 80 foot-pounds. And then the top ones, I believe, are 22 foot-pounds. Those get tightened down after we're all done with the big studs. So. I'm actually on my last pass here, on the last head, and then we can put push rods and rockers in after this. When you do LS head torque, as much as I do, you remember the sequence by heart. I probably do 2 of these a week on customer cars. Somebody's getting spicy outside. top ones. I think they call for 22 foot-pounds. I think I'd take them to 25. But honestly, it might be 25. It might just be 25. Okay, just about the last thing I'm gonna do today. New oil pump, Melling 10-295, high pressure, stock volume. So what I like to do is fill this thing up with a little bit of oil. Just a little bit in there. And then spin the gear and get the oil distributed throughout the gear before I put this thing on the engine. Just spinning around a bunch, get that oil mixed up in there, just so it's not going in dry. All right. Do a little bit of blue Loctite on these bolts. And I am aware that you can shim the oil pump for alignment. I don't do that. I've never done that. There's not much adjustment on this thing anyway. So I've never had an issue doing that, and I'm just going to continue to do it this way. These things are also 22 foot-pounds, or, you know, use your muscle. I always run it in with the gun and then go over them by hand. All right. Well, so I think that's pretty much all we're going to do today. Tomorrow, I'm going to drive the S10 to the shop, get it in here, and we will go to town. We'll get that 4.8 out, put the 408 in, and it should be running and driving tomorrow. I don't think it's going to take us very long to do the swap here, so Alrighty, the road's finally dried up enough to where I can drive the truck to the shop. And it's kind of a later Saturday night, so I might take over this project tomorrow, but it's here, which means this little project probably only going to take me 3 hours or so tomorrow morning to switch this deal out. So out comes the 4.8. Okay, I had to make a quick run to the store. Had to go to O'Reilly's. So, if you've ever built a stroker motor, LS deal, that the cranks obviously have a longer stroke and they make contact with the windage tray. The rod bolts hit the windage tray. So you have to space up the windage tray and then get hardware. I don't know what happened. I seem to lose these hardware every single time that I do this. So had to go to O'Reilly's and buy some, no big deal. But now I also had to get a oil pan gasket as well. My other one broke. So this thing ready to go together, and then I could put it in the truck finally. She's looking like something now. I have to go to Winter Circle in the morning because my brother and I were working, and he was moving a cable around, which was the alternator wire, and it zapped on something. It zapped on my throttle cable and freaking torched it right in half. So now I gotta go get a new throttle cable. But anyway, got the turbos and headers hung up. Water pump is on. I have to wait to put the intake on until I do the throttle cable. So once I get that throttle cable and get that in there, this thing will really come together in no time. I gotta get some spark plugs too, so. Well, have to wait until tomorrow for that deal. So we'll keep chipping away at this. Hopefully get fired up tomorrow. Day 3 of this little project. We've pretty much got everything buttoned up. I had to get a new throttle cable, so I've got that on. That's all done. The intake's obviously on it. Alternator and all that good stuff is on it. We hung the turbos last night. This thing is pretty much ready to fire up. I did do a little bit of oil priming. I took a tip from a buddy just to try to eliminate as much trash going through a new motor as possible. Of course, brand new oil filter, that's obvious. Filled the filter up with oil like I always do. But he recommended that we take the oil pressure sender out and pour as much oil down there as we can. And that helps put oil and fill oil up on this side of the pump inside the motor. So if it works or not, it's more oil into the motor, so that obviously can't hurt it. But I don't have any spark plugs in it. I'm gonna crank this thing over and try to see if I can see some oil coming out of the rocker. I don't think I'll be able to see oil pressure in the truck while it's cranking, so hopefully I'll just be able to see a little bit of oil on this rocker, and then we'll fire this thing up. Hopefully it all goes well. We're gonna let the fuel system prime, so, oh, headlights are on. So I can see if there's any fuel leaks before we try this. So far we're looking pretty good. No leaks on any of the fittings that I had off. All right, just gonna crank this thing over a little bit. Let's see if we can see oil pressure. There we go. Oil pressure sensor plugged in. Yes, okay. No oil pressure yet. Oh, yep, yes there is. Try this again. Okay, I saw some oil pressure. When I'm cranking, the screen restarts. So basically I'm hoping to see some oil pressure after the screen restarts. But I did see some oil pressure, so that's a good sign. We're gonna throw this cap on, throw some spark plugs in it, and fire it up. I was just about to fire this thing up, and then I realized that it's probably not going to run very well without the correct tune-up in it. So I got out the computer, and I'm just trying to find one of my good 408 tunes, or 408 tunes, sorry. I've got a lot of them. I like this one, 408, good tune, no wheelie, a 1200 60 foot. Let's load that one in there. Save changes, no. Okay, so now I need to send to ECU and open this guy up. Let's go to our gauges. Okie dokie. Make sure it's in park. And pray to God that we have good oil pressure and no noises. Where was our oil pressure? There's our oil pressure right there. Okay. There it goes. Okay, I just shut this thing down. I see some sort of an oil leak down there. Not very bad, but it's a little bit. Okay, I'll address that. My O2 wideband was freaking out pretty hard. And this is basically a brand new sensor and everything. It's plugged in, so that's not good. That is not good. And also the map sensor was kind of going bonkers. So that was not good. So I just gotta maybe figure a couple of those things out real quick. Man, if I have another O2 sensor go bad, this is nuts. I've put so many O2 sensors in all of these cars. I'm over it. I don't know about the map sensor deal either. So maybe it's the tune. Maybe I butchered something up. Maybe the wrong data is in there one way or another. So I'm gonna look over all this stuff, and then hopefully the next video will be trying to drive this thing around a little bit. I'll keep you updated. Good oil pressure. Everything seems to be working. I still haven't figured out that O2 sensor deal. I'm sure I'll have to buy another one. The oil leak was the transmission line, so I got to replace that. Woo! Everything sounds good. It sounds quiet. Engine sounds smooth. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. The next video we'll be driving this thing around, testing it. We got to build a big crazy Christmas tree on top of the truck for the Christmas tree World Championship, and I'm pretty excited to do that. We're gonna go down and race with Cleetus again like we've been doing for the past 3 or 4 years. We're gonna have a Christmas tree. So far the plan, we're gonna have a big ass Christmas tree that goes from the front of the truck all the way up and over and then hang off the back. So we're gonna build some brackets off the roll cage, build some brackets off the front end of the truck to hold the tree up, and it'll arc over the, you know, I want like a, I don't know, 16-foot Christmas tree or something huge and stupid. So thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you on the next one.